I might actually start at 2. Make sure that because I hit broadcast, it should be showing what we're seeing. It is? Okay, good. Alright. Well, it's been a long time. Are these charged? Are these charged?
Oh, back. Turn back.
Alright. Shalom everybody. Shalom Aleichem. It's been a long time. It's been a long time since we've done a live stream. Use my laptop. So I like to say just hello to all of Yasharel watching this right now or watching it later. And today's lesson, we will be continuing the line by line series. And we are starting with Leviticus. We completed all of Genesis and all of Exodus. So not to brag, we're not bragging. But, it does feel good to start the third book of the Torah, which is the instructions. So, at this time, we'll get it going. Damn, I Did somebody have the video open? I'm hearing an echo broadcast.
No, the sound this way. I feel like I can't hear. Like the sound is really weird.
Low?
Huh?
Low?
No, it's like very muffled. I don't know. It's something
Says.
Yes, that sounds.
Okay. So now let's just pick it up because this should be the source. Does it sound better now?
Yes.
Okay.
It's online. If you ask me online,
You don't hear it all on? That's crazy. How you not? What?
say something again in the mic.
Hey.
It's way better. You know what I had? My phone there.
Oh.
I don't know why. But anyway, it was good.
Okay, so now everything's back to okay, so I don't need to touch anything then. Good.
Say something again?
La 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 la.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. La 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 la. Okay.
That was okay. I'm always willing to be like, if you do it against it, you always got
You gotta trust but verify. Trust but verify. Alright, so now we are in it to win it. Let's go ahead and expand on our legacy, on the instructions that Yahuah gave all of Yasharah to do for eternity. Minus the sacrificing. So here we go. Yahuah's kitchen. You'll notice a few things as we go through, but Yahuah is very, very particular. I'll say it like that. It's like one of those people or caterers who have very fine taste. and know exactly what they want or need and require for a certain situation. Here we go. Order up. Let's see. What is the first animal of which that can be placed on the altar? We're starting at Leviticus chapter 1. Leviticus chapter 1. Well, you can see a lot of something. I mean, it's going to be, it's going to be something clean. It's going to be a clean out, just like that. Let's go ahead and read it out. Who wants to get Leviticus chapter 1 through 9? Go right ahead, Cody.
You got it? No, I got it.
Hello. Okay. Leviticus or Ibriym, chapter 1, verse 1 through 9. Reading from the Sefer. And Yahuah called unto Moshe and spoke unto him out of the tabernacle of the assembly, saying, Speak unto the children of Yasharal, and say unto them, If any man of you bring an offering unto Yahuah, ye shall bring your offering of the cattle, even of the herd, and of the flock. If his offering be an ascending smoke sacrifice of the herd, let him offer a male without blemish. He shall offer it of his own voluntary will at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly before Yahuah. And he shall put his hand upon the head of the ascending smoke offering, and it shall be accepted for him to make an atonement for him. And he shall kill the bullock before Yahuah, and the priests, Aaron's sons, shall bring the blood and sprinkle the blood round about upon the altar that is by the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And he shall flay the ascending smoke offerings and cut it into his pieces. And the sons of Aaron, the priests, shall put fire upon the altar and lay the wood in order upon the fire. And the priests, Aaron's sons, shall lay the parts, the head and the fat, in order upon the wood that is on the fire, which is upon the altar. But his inwards and his legs shall he wash in water. And the priest shall burn all on the altar to be an ascending smoke sacrifice, an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto Yahuah.
Turn your mic down to maybe 75. It's on the very two bottom buttons. Yeah. Mic volume up and down.
75.
Yeah, that's a lot. Hopefully y'all didn't get your ears blown out. But it's just the word of God, so it probably hit by anyway. So,
What was the answer?
the answer was a bullet. Cattle bullet.
Cattle or bullock?
Yeah. So,
Bullock is what it is in the first few letters of that word.
yeah. Yeah. So, it's apparent that Yahuah enjoys barbecues. He enjoys barbecues. And as you can see, he enjoys barbecues with, we'll go ahead and read it. I don't think it's his next question, but we'll read it as we go on. What is the second animal of which that can be placed on the altar? So we just crossed off cattle / bulls. Cows. What would be the next one? It's the one we commonly eat.
Sheep, lamb, or sheep?
Correct. Sheep and goats. See, who wants to get Leviticus 1, 10 through 13?
I'll read.
Okay, so this is going to be Leviticus chapter 1, verse 10. And it says, And if his offering be of the flocks, namely of the sheep, or of the goats, for a burnt sacrifice, he shall bring it a male without blemish, and he shall kill it on the side of the altar northward before the Most High. And the priest Aaron's sons shall sprinkle his blood round about upon the altar, and he shall cut it into his pieces with his head and his fat, And the priest shall lay them in order on the wood that is on the fire, which is upon the altar. And he shall wash the inwards and the legs with water, and the priest shall bring it all and burn it upon the altar. It is a burnt sacrifice and offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Most High.
There you go. So there's Yahuah's second choice of a meal, which would be goat and lamb, which is also a requirement for Pesach, or more commonly known as Passover.
I might say a correlation between how we wash and clean the inwards with water and then burn and drain. So you look at the immersion or baptism, right? So initially it's done through water, and then through Mashiach, that's when the fire of the Spirit is added to the sacrifice. So, perfect.
It also shows that we wash our meat.
Yes.
You know, that's a...
I didn't know that was a debate in natural law.
No, I'm saying with other nations,
Oh, they don't.
just take the meat and they don't, we wash our meat, we use lemon, we do all kinds of things to prep our meat before we cook it. We don't just take it and just take a raw thing with all the blood and just throw it on the grill. That's not how it works. I'm sorry, Sean. I'm just saying, like, that shows that the Most High had, we weren't eating blood and doing like all that.
Yeah, like we were draining. Yeah, we were draining the meat of its entrails and its blood. The blood is only 40 people anyway, so. And then once we did that, and also it helps the meat to cook properly and faster. It helps the meat to retain, because if you cook in your meat with the blood, undrained, just basically baking iron into your food. And impurities and stuff like that, because what? The blood can carry life, but it also carry disease.
It's crazy
to get all that ignorance.
Go ahead. It's crazy that you talk about this. Me and my son was just having this conversation yesterday, and he could tell you that he didn't understand. I said in those other nations that don't wash their face, or their bodies with towels and soap on a daily basis. And he was like, "What? Everybody does that." Like some people that wash their hands, or use their hands with towels on their face and their body. And then when it comes to washing the food before it's, prepped to season it, I was telling him, like, wash your food.
I'll get your hand off that tennis. Tennis ball.
There we go. You gotta wash your meat that you have before you eat it. And I was like, but everybody doesn't do that. He's like, I'm pretty sure everybody does it, but not that they don't. Only way I can be able to show him is through experience, because he'll have to go through that himself.
Yeah.
He can look online and stuff and be like, look, somebody created that or something like that. Nowadays, you don't know what you're looking at.
You might make a friend of another nation over their house for dinner and be like, hey, why is your dog licking your foot?
Exactly. We're the nation that was teaching the other nations on how to be clean and how to wash your food properly and everything. And that way we won't have diseases, and how to get, if you do have a disease, you get separated from cancer. Everybody does get affected.
Yeah.
Even so far as, to your point, even so far as like in America, like the practice of the doctors when the woman's giving birth, they used to use basins, and obviously putting disease into this woman. So they started using running water. They weren't using running water at first. There's a TV show on years ago where the opening of the show, they have a basin and this dude with his dick in his hands in the water, and then going and then having going to give birth and going to baby on the inside. So yeah.
Something like that. Something like that,
No, this is an old show.
So Yahuah has not only, Yahuah really is particular, just like somebody like, what's his name? Gordon Ramsay. My wife loves to watch the show. Gordon Ramsay is particular. Like, even when he's cooking, it's a very clean and sterile event. It's not like ingredients aren't flying everywhere, like maybe popping up in the pan or whatever he's using, but when he's transporting it from the cutting table to the pan or the pot, it's seamless, it's a clean, sterile event, and then it tastes, heavenly. It's because it's a discipline. He's not going to get a slop. So in the preparation of exquisite food, you want to have the proper prep for the ingredients. You don't just throw anything together and offer it to Yahuah. Talking about high. Otherwise, you end up with a cane situation. All right. What is the third animal of which that can be placed on the altar? This is kind of surprising, but if you like chicken, then you probably can figure out what the answer is. Turtle dove. So I guess. Did you say the answer? Ibriym Strong? Pigeon or dove? Yes. Scream it loud for the crowd. Yeah. Pigeon and or dove. Or he said he would go ahead and eat us. I'm like, you. That was what's up. No, even Mickey didn't come in behind you. Can I get somebody to go ahead and read Leviticus 14 through chapter 1, 14 through 17? Go right ahead, Bob. Alright, we good.
Leviticus 1, 14 through 17. If the ascending smoke sacrifice for his offering to Yahuah be of fowls, then he shall bring his offering of turtle doves and of young pigeons, and the priest shall bring it unto the altar, and wring off his head, and burn it on the altar, and the blood thereof shall be wrung out at the side of the altar, and he shall pluck away his crop with his feathers, and cast it beside the altar on the east part, by the place of the ashes. And he shall cleave it with the wings thereof, but shall not divide it asunder. And the priest shall burn it upon the altar. Upon the wood that is upon the fire, it is an ascending smoke sacrifice, an offering made by fire, a sweet savior unto Yahuah.
Thank you for the reading. Now, if you notice, there's a certain way that you even prepare such a small bird as a pigeon. Like, that's even laid out in a particular manner. It's not just, you cut off the head, throw it on the fire. You gotta pluck it. You don't, it's almost similar to the lamb, the Pesach lamb, where you don't break the bones. The only thing you don't have on it is the head. And then, it's a proper, the whole body. And then what? You still take out the inward parts, right? Or do you leave the inward parts in? The inward parts are so small. Okay, so no inward parts. So you can leave the
break off the head.
Yeah, that's it. So you can leave the inward parts because it's such a small thing. Yeah. And then it all goes up in flame. So his rotisserie chicken, there you go. So
I do have Ayana and I had the same thought at the same time, and we didn't even say it to each other. But we were just talking about the whole idea of the whole pigeon situation. We see pigeons everywhere. So I'm like, man, how do they, I don't know, like it just seems so strange that when did we get away from, is it like because it's a different type of pigeon maybe, like that we have here in America versus like what we had, because why, I know it sounds so bad, like, well, why do we not eat pigeons? Because that's specific in here, it doesn't say a chicken, so I'm like, what made us get away from from eating pigeons or doves, right? I mean, we look at doves and we're like, they're so cute and white and sweet, yeah.
Delicious.
Yeah. Hey, well, look good.
No, but you know what I'm saying? Like, in church, they didn't teach us that they were eating that. Or at least not to me. I didn't know that it was like a meal. I thought that it was sacrifice. In my mind, sacrifice is it was just sacrifice. Not like, oh, they're going to eat it too. I didn't know that what the Levites did anyway, to be honest with you, back then. But, I mean, now that we're reading all this and we're looking at the dietary and how they did the sacrifices and everything, I do, like, that's a question. Why don't we eat doves and pigeons and things like that? I mean, because it seems like there's an abundance.
I call it back up.
Yeah, I guess maybe we probably wouldn't want to eat it right now, at least in this station, at least, I mean, you know, if the wilderness comes, like we probably may have to resort to that, but
I'd rather that than the squirrel and just
yeah.
Awesome. All that stuff that what they say they get, right?
Yeah, because because of the cities and how cities are, we've all seen a pigeon come by, swoop up, put his beak in some dirtiest water that's been just stagnant for like 3 days.
You have to raise it.
It's like,
You would have to raise it. Like,
I mean, it's like tilapia, man. Tilapia's a clean fish, but guess what? I know.
But we don't have to eat it.
I know. I already know what it is. Tilapia is one of the things that's like, damn, you know what I'm saying? It's the biggest thing.
yeah.
I wonder if pigeons is the associate to the name that they gave him. It could have been a different type of word.
Some more Afrocentric.
Yeah, so, I mean, because you probably better say it was pigeons.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of these pigeons here are nasty, right? And a lot of them are government agents.
Yeah.
But
All right, no, that's a good thing.
Well, like, well, you know, kind of like how, what's his name? Mr. Gates. He's really, he's done it. Well, I'm just saying, like, they have done, the governments around the world have admitted to, like, releasing animals on purpose in areas that they didn't necessarily supposed to be in.
And plus, let's keep it a bug, y'all. People go, any animal is gonna do what it's gotta do. I've seen a cow devour a little chicken.
Oh, wow.
Because it was hungry. They did a test on it. A cow devoured it, went down real slow, and scooped it up and tore it up. This was before AI. This is what I'm saying.
Like a lot of it's right here.
Yeah.
Like if they eat a mineral, they will get it.
If they eat the animals, they will head up.
They're not out here to survive.
Yes. Vegan type animals will tell us that if they got to survive.
My preference is vegetable, but if times get hard,
That's what I'm saying.
you know, I'm adaptable.
Out of a barrel or whatever, just eating it up.
I guess that proves a chicken is a T-Rex. That's what they told me at elementary school.
How do they get so small?
I was really on a school field trip, and I asked my elementary teacher, I was like maybe first, second grade. So, because like they said, a rhinoceros evolved from a triceratops. I was like, well, he lost a horn. But okay.
Yeah, that's default.
And then I was like,
You can't ask the question.
so what?
Otherwise, you'll get another grade.
So what did the T-Rex evolve into? Like that chicken. I was like, what? But anyway. Alright.
Oh, real quick, like when Lee was asking about why we don't eat that, a lot of things you look at in the Western world, we just push.
Got this whole. You're covering my antenna. Yeah, at the bottom.
Test. A lot of things we eat in the Western world because of the monetary, the money backing. It's all, farms are owned by who? Corporations now.
Yeah.
So they don't push this simple, like pigeons and quail are easy to raise. Just put food out there, they'll survive, they'll live. And they'll breed, multiply, easy. They don't want you doing that. Come get this, come get this $12 pound beef.
They like $16 for like 4 breasts or something.
Yeah.
Easy.
So they make it like it's a delicacy. It's the easiest animal to
The
raise.
easiest things to raise is just that people have lost it.
Exactly. Like back in the day, they remember got milk ads, got milk. They didn't really care about our health. And come to find out, milk wasn't all that good for them. Not better. Not whole milk. Yeah. So they pushed it because it was the farmers got together, got a marketing company, the dairy farmers. Say, hey man, we got to sell this milk. We got you. Push that marketing campaign. Got milk, had celebrities in the magazines and stuff, pushing all this milk. So it's all about the money. It ain't about our health and what's good for us.
Do you know how cheese came about? Like, they were looking away. It's somewhere in Europe, but the guy who invented cheese, there was one, it was an accident, and then two, they were looking for ways to monetize the cow's milk. Because they're like, nobody's drinking this, like my cows are producing this much milk, nobody's drinking it, so, and then they accidentally invented cheese, and then that's when they started pushing with sandwiches and stuff like that. But I love a cheeseburger, so I don't know, I can't be mad at it. I can't be mad at we saw that.
It's all about that. Yeah.
Oh, right. Hands on the bottom, up. Get off that antenna. You got big hands. There you go, right there.
I believe we're talking about the pigeons, right? So the reason why I thought the reason why I thought we didn't eat pigeons was because of how dogs they'll crossbreed and do all this and yada yada, make stronger dogs or shorter dogs or cuter dogs and this and that yada yada. I think of it like pugs, right? Pugs, they're basically they're really unhealthy. They're not great. They you have to spend a lot on them because they're so genetically their body is bad. Their body is bad. It's terrible. And that's my thing with pigeons, right? Is that originally, back all the way back, we used to be able to eat them because they were healthy. They were healthy. They were strong. You'd be able to eat them, right?
Probably you wouldn't want to try to eat a New York pigeon. No, you don't want to eat a New York pigeon.
It's been so devolved to the point where they've gone from a strong bird where you can offer them up or eat them and this and that to the point where they're like pugs. They harm themselves.
Yeah. Because of the environment has went down, you have to be more even clean animals. If you were raising a chicken in the middle of the Bronx and not an open farm, you might want to be wary of that chicken because that chicken, if it's not getting a regular source of food from its owner, and young Hakeem was saying, if you were you got to be wary of even clean animals because of the environment. Because if you got a chicken, you're trying to raise it in the middle of the Bronx instead of a field. Yeah, it'll got no food. Well, I'm just saying, I'm not down in New York. I'm just saying.
He's out in New York.
But in New York, they have rooftops where they build chicken coops and stuff, and they have drums where the rain catches, so that they can actually feed the chicken. Right? Yeah, they have. In New York, the same thing with pigeons. They have pigeon coops.
Well, I'm talking about a wild one that's not being attended to. Yeah. It's just roaming the street.
Vertical gardens too in New York.
Oh, you're right.
Maybe Massachusetts do that. Mike Tyson did that, right? Yeah.
I'm not talking about an animal being tended to by a human that's trying to keep the laws. I'm just talking about, well, let's say they got that one chicken. And one chicken, for whatever reason, was honoring, somehow managed to get off the roof, and he's just roaming Bronx. And he ain't getting regular fare, so he's eating whatever he's coming across. You wouldn't want to try to do that.
It disturbs the environment, man.
Yes.
Yeah, heavily disturbs the environment. Right?
Yes.
Even like at night, it doesn't even help the wildlife.
We have foxes and coyotes running all through Congress because you encroach, on where they live. So people want to get rid of them and stuff like that, but it's like, but they live here like that.
The Most High gave them rights to this land. Like, yeah. Okay.
To like further your point, right, about basically like chickens like eating like random stuff like all this other stuff. I also believe that like the pigeons, right, their meat became like kind of toxic basically.
Yeah,
so to the point where like it was you couldn't eat it. You couldn't eat it because pigeons will basically eat anything.
Yeah.
Basically, right? So it got to that point to where they were eating everything that they could for survival to the point where they're like their body was toxic and their meat was toxic. So they passed that down slowly, and now they basically like their children and all their stuff are like following in the same way of eating stuff and making themselves like toxic.
But it doesn't kill them per se, kind of like a bird type thing. It doesn't kill the bird, but if a human eats it, then it will be like toxic.
Real quick, young folk over there and all that jazz, everybody. What do you think is the main purpose for Leviticus? For Leviticus, what do you think is a good main purpose?
Yeah. Keep the alternative tabernacle.
Yeah.
It's got to be a separate space from the outside.
Good.
Clean this in the camp.
Good. Over there in the back, what you got?
Just helping with the rules of like properly going about processes of, because we got the Levite priests and stuff.
Right.
So just what's the word? In the temple, keeping the rules in the temple.
Gotcha.
And cleanliness also.
I like it.
So basically you're saying rules for daily life, right? Not for conducting yourself during a certain feast day, but this is how we are to govern ourselves and, watch what we eat, watch what we do and say in our daily life. And, yeah.
I like it. That's what I'm talking about. I love all the answers. That's what you just not said like it. Rules. So if you have laws, what's the opposite of laws? No, opposite of laws now. If you have a land of laws, what over here do you have? What's the antithesis of that? Lawlessness. So are we following? We just now said life.
Yeah.
What's the opposite of life?
Yeah.
I ain't trying to be like, oh, it's a shout moment, but hopefully y'all get what I'm, You said clean. What's the opposite of that? Unclean. You get what I'm saying? There's a purpose of going over Leviticus. And I just want to make sure that there's, because in your houses, and you already said room, in your houses you're going to have, talk to me, you're going to have rules. Do you want rules or do you want the opposite of that, which is? Yeah. Come on, say it.
Chaos.
Go ahead. Y'all want a house of chaos? No. Talk to me. Talk to me. Okay, so they pay attention to this a bit.
Yeah, there you go. Because, I'm sure that some of us, we didn't grow up in the most, the richest lifestyle, some of us. But we've all been to people's houses who, even if they had money, I've been to people's houses who had more money than what I did growing up. And it was, I'm like, how y'all living like this? Like, y'all got these nice cars, this nice house, but y'all, the interactions with each other it's a daily grinding thing. It's exhausting, or Yeah, or the outside of the house is nice and manicured, but you go inside to visit a friend or family, and it's like, why do I see eggs stuck on the wall? Like, what's going on? And so, yeah, like, I've been to a place like that, like, cause like, growing up, we were lower, and then my dad got some money, middle class, but there was always a standard of cleanliness around the house. And then you go to people who have a little bit more money than you, and you looking like, what is that on the floor? And it's like, okay, so apparently I'm living the standard, but apparently there are people who way below the standard.
I know, like us being in the military, right? And you're there, you're around a bunch of people who, their background is not cleanliness, or they don't know anything about sanitation at all. And some people haven't even seen a black person, you know, so they'll sit there and look at you. I'm like, what you looking at? They're like, I've never seen them.
So you think we come from the hood?
They're like, I normally see them on TVs, right? So when you get around black people like that, you realize that there's a lot of people that are dirty. Like, you don't know how people are until you move in with them and you're living with them. And like you guys have roommates or even football players. You know, you see some brothers, they'll go and not take a shower, just jump straight to the clothes and go straight to the classroom. You're like, nah. Exactly. They want to sit next to you and they always got a secret. Like, nah, I'm cool, just text it to me. You got people like that, but you realize like it's real out here. Like going into, you gotta have a certain standard. Your parents was hard on you for a reason, and it's because when you get out here in this world is not living up to the expectation as you should, or as the Most High has for us. So that's why He has these certain rules for us, because this world is dirty. You know, their house is not like the house I built for you.
Right.
You know, so we gotta look at that.
I know you guys want to go out here.
Oh yeah, you never read the red.
Especially with Leviticus being full with as many, Torah, as much rules and stuff that it has, just kind of, something to kind of keep in the back of your mind. If this wasn't clearly stated, it probably would have been done. There was a clear separation between what the world was doing and what Yah wants His people to be doing. It could be something like, of course, as simple as back in Exodus, thou shalt not kill. People were killing each other. Just because, hey, don't marry your niece. Somebody was marrying their niece, all those things, everything, and that's why, He had to make that clear, and it had to be written down here, because otherwise there wouldn't be, there wouldn't be that clear distinction, because especially now we're mingled, amongst other nations. How can we go? I mean, yeah, we're not killing each other, but why can't I marry my niece? You know what I'm saying? So just stuff like that, just kind of to consider if you're, kind of in the back of your mind, like it had to be clearly stated, because this is why.
Somebody tried it.
Like, why did it say wash yourself after handling a dead body? Because you have to. Because that's what you need to do. Exactly.
All right, now let's get Cody to read 14. Did you already read 14? Okay, so we're next. That's all right. Okay, so there we go, wine and dine. Now, we're going to have an interesting discussion, but it'll be like, what is the most holy offering that can be done by fire? What's the most holy offering that can be done by fire?
Alright, Leviticus 2, 1-3. And when any will offer an oblation unto Yahuah, his offering shall be of fine flour, and he shall pour oil upon it, and put frankincense thereon. And he shall bring it to Aaron's sons the priests. And he shall take thereout his handful of the flour thereof, and of the oil thereof, with all the frankincense thereof, and the priest shall burn the memorial of it upon the altar, to be an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto Yahuah. And the remnant of the oblation shall be Aaron's and his sons. It is the thing most holy of the offerings of Yahuah made by fire.
So fried chicken?
Sweet Satan.
Sweet fried chicken.
So as you see, the Yahuah's most precious offering is that of fine flour and frankincense, which I would have never thought that. Fine flour and frankincense. I would never. That's a weird combination. I would never thought that. That's Yahuah. Fine flour and frankincense. Yeah, I know.
Hey, they always say, man, if you need it, you can use your skin, right? That's what something is.
You know what's interesting about the sacrifices to the Most High, right? Modern day, we would look at this as we've been told this is witchcraft.
Yeah.
Everything that's going on so far is witchcraft.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So you have to figure out who witchcraft is which.
Which witchcraft is which?
Which witchcraft is which?
Say that.
Like, it's witchcraft for the other nations because it's not their custom, so it's foreign to them.
Right. So if
And
you're
then
going,
even us, we'll look at what's going on over there in West Africa.
exactly.
Yeah, we'll look over West Africa and see somebody cutting off chicken. Like you just not, like you said, do whatever they do with chicken. And I'm thinking to myself, you ain't really big food.
Yeah.
You just got to breathe.
I saw on Facebook this year, I saw a lady, they kept Passover, and she was basically like going in, but she was saying like,
this is why we do this is why we don't buy lamb chops, this is why we don't, do this and that or whatever. And so she had the lamb and they were like taking it and doing their whole slaughtering, their whole slaughtering. And then after that, they even take the blood and they even put it on their doorposts. So they were doing like the whole thing. And of course, like people that study came in and were like, hey, they were like, hey sis, what you're doing right there, what's going on? Because you're not supposed to be doing that dipping in the blood and putting it over and then they were bringing up Mashiach, and everybody was like, 90% of people came with just straight script and was like, this is why you telling everybody else that they're wrong because they're not dipping stuff in, in blood and sprinkling it over their house. But I mean, I'm saying, like, you still have people that even just completely, like, they don't understand what this is about. Basically, going back to what you're saying. Like, it's about order, it's about what we're supposed to be doing, how we're supposed to live our daily lives. And so when people take these things literally, but they don't have everything that we just read in order to do that, now it makes it look like voodoo.
Yeah.
Now it looks, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not.
It's my thing. You look over there, you might think it's like, and I'm thinking to myself, no, like it's in the street.
Yeah, like it's not.
Obviously, we have a
The putting blood on the doorpost thing wasn't that only specifically in Egypt when we did that? That was just that one time where the angel, when something happened.
You know, when he first said we kept one and see them for 3 and see them doing it.
That wasn't continuous. That was for that one, and they were told to do that for that one thing, and then after that,
pass over.
Exactly.
So that the dead could pass over.
Even Mashiach, he said go prepare the place like lamb, but he didn't say that about no doorpost.
So I think it might just be like, of course, coming out of whatever we were in before, you want to go back to it being as authentic and as close to script as possible. So maybe people might kind of lose themselves with that, like going overboard
what they call it, super brew, whatever, you know, before you kind of chill out, where the wisdom and the tithe and all that comes in, and you're like, okay, well, we don't have to do that. We do this, but I don't gotta, you know, do all that extra stuff. So.
Yeah.
You ain't lying, bro. That's good. It's like, you can't even see that, you know, talk shit like that.
And this is, again, man, this the line by line series this is good because we've seen some of this stuff, like in, I'll give you an example. It was like the first or the second Pirates of the Caribbean movie where it was like the one, almost like a witch doctor type woman that liked Jack, and she would do some of the stuff like this. Like, what they were doing was showing our heritage, but then saying, see, this is evil. This is evil. Or like, because even now, like, there's a new Castlevania anime on Netflix, and one of the main character is a woman, a Yasharalian woman from the islands. She's from Haiti.
Yeah.
And they show her talking to her ancestors, like going into prayer, talking to her ancestors. Mashiach did that. Mashiach talked to Moshe and somebody else. Who was it?
I think it was Elijah. I feel like it was Elijah.
Yeah. Mashiach, they had been dead for a while when Mashiach did it. So it's interesting how they show our heritage. Now, what they try to conflate it as is like, oh, these are just Africans, but we know that's our people because what did they do in that most recent Castlevania anime that's on Netflix? They had her and then another brew, but you know they did jamming. They made the brew male gay, and then they eventually killed them off. So it was like, and then at the very end of the anime, yeah.
I thought he was like Native American. I thought he was like.
No. So Orlac.
I just seen clips. I haven't seen shows.
The guy in the purple garment that's like a vampire.
Yeah.
He's actually Quetzalcoatl. In the historical record, that's Quetzalcoatl. So it's interesting how they basically are telling you, because what in scripture it says, you be able to cast down or overtake serpents and scorpions. Serpents are the fallen angels. Scorpions are the demons. The product, the production of the product of the fallen spirit, like from the giants and stuff. So it even shows, but they made a vampire because what would the giants do? They ate human flesh, and that's what in the show they call it Borderlands. So I'm like, they're not fooling me. That's Quetzalcoatl. That's the fallen angel. That's y'all showing in the show, eating people, sucking blood and killing people and stuff like that. So it's just interesting how they show us biblical truth, but then they try to put like a voodoo spin on it and stuff like that.
Everything is usually true that they do something else. And they do something else on it. So it's spinning.
Yeah.
I can't hear you. Go listen to them.
All right. Let's go on to the next question. What kind of bread is to be given as an oblation unto Yahuah? Correct. Now, where's Mac at? I know Mac is here. Oh. 4 through 10.
And if you bring an offering of an oblation baked to the other, it shall be matcha, cakes of fine flour mingled with oil, or matcha wafers anointed with oil. And if your offerings be oblation baked in a pan, it shall be of fine flour unleavened mingled with oil. You shall put part of it in pieces and pour oil thereon. It is an oblation. And if your offerings be an oblation baked in a frying pan, it shall be made of fine flour with oil. And you shall bring the oblation that is made of these things unto Yahuah. And when it is presented unto the priest, he shall bring it unto the altar. And the priest shall take from the oblation a memorial thereof, and shall burn it upon the altar. And it is an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto Yahuah. And that which is left of the oblation shall be Aaron and his sons. It is a thing most holy of the offerings of Yahuah made by fire.
There you go. So, now, what have we been noticing since we've been in chapter 2 is that with the oblation, the Levitical priests, Moshe and his kinsmen were allowed to take a portion of that. Is where you get the concept in church of tithes. Because what it says in scripture that the kingdom of heaven is the Levi bloodline's ultimate reward. So they weren't concerned with having the trappings of the physical realm. They were doing their job for their ultimate reward when the Mashiach comes back. So
if you think about it, the offering going up to the Most High first, right? So essentially, they're sharing the meal with the Most High.
Yeah. What sports?
What do you say?
All right, so the offerings are going up to the Most High, right? The sweet smell Savior, right? So essentially, since they're the only ones to eat the same meal, they're essentially sharing the meal with the Most High.
That's amazing.
that's deep. Like I never thought about that. That is deep.
Whatever.
Go ahead.
The Most High is giving us an oblation. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
This is from the KJV, but just real quick, Numbers 18 and 20. I'm just gonna say it, but it's talking about. But and the Lord spoke unto Aaron, Thou shalt have no inheritance in their land, neither shalt thou have any part among them. I am thy part and thy inheritance among the children of Israel.
So there you go. That confirms. Yeah, that confirms the origin, their original origin. So if you got Cadillac and you've been preaching for like 30 years, I don't know that's probably as good as your reward gonna get.
Like the Levites from wherever, they still got part. Like they have places where they have to.
Yeah.
But they didn't get like here's Gad and here's Judah and all these other places. They just had. I think they call them suburbs. Is that what they call them? They call them some. They get a place where they can live that in every land or whatever. And they're vital to the system at the time anyway, because you gotta wait. If you were accused of murder, you gotta wait till you gotta stay in that place.
Your court date. Yeah, you gotta go to your court date.
Yeah.
So because I'm just gonna reaffirm what you just said. The tribe of Levi lived amongst the other tribes. They weren't by themselves like the other houses were. So if you were in Judah, you were like, dang, bro, you know what I did? Hey, let's go to Levi. If you mean Levi and Northwest Judah, yeah, we gotta go take some stuff to him. I messed up, gotta go make it right. So, or I got a court date. And the judge, the Levitical judge,
they had to flee.
Yeah.
Like they had to flee to these cities, or and if the Avenger of Blood came upon them before they got there, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they were they were able to be killed at that time. And you better not step out of it till the high priest is dead. They gotta find out later. Daddy ain't home. I guess he's over there.
Y'all remember the hotel John Wick?
Yeah, that's what basically was.
Oh yeah.
Coin, like no matter what the beach was outside, you had to stop. That's crazy how they show our history right in front of us. I didn't think about that. And no matter what the op was, if you were in the Levitical portion of your tribe, you gotta wait for a court date or for the judgment to be ruled by the priest. That's crazy. But, okay, so back to the final question and answer. But, I like how, once again, Shafir, he basically clarified that it's a dining with you every time they take their portion of the oblation. Now, well, yeah, go ahead. I'll go ahead and talk about that. So, why didn't the priest take a portion from the actual sacrifice for sinning? Well, the simple answer is that because that the individual or a group of people bring their sacrifice for the sin offering, that is to atone. That wasn't because if you're a Levite priest, you can't be up in there sinning no way, you're gonna drop dead. So you ain't taking a part of that. That is them making an apology, making an apology to the Most High for breaking whatever law, statute, commandment they might have broken. That's why the priest wouldn't take any part of any part of sacrifice for sin. And oblation is like you're giving congratulations or a thank you to Yahuah, and in that thank you that you are imparting upon him for whatever it is that he's been doing, you present it to the priest. They'll present your oblation in the holy, correct way, and then they'll take a portion of that to basically celebrate with you in that oblation. That's why the oblation is more like a celebration. The sacrifices on the altar were more like an apology. Like, I did this wrong. This is how, according to the scriptures at the time, this is how made it right. That's why you wouldn't, as a Levite priest, you wouldn't take from somebody. They would come to you. You would take a portion of a sin offering rather than an oblation. An oblation is kind of like a little house party or a little dinner party. So,
yeah, like why would you want to even eat that? Because that's now the sin is upon that thing. So why would you then want to eat the thing that you're literally putting your sin on that bird or
whatever it is, yeah. And like I said, some of the animals wouldn't necessarily eat, like right for the sin offering. Some of the animals wouldn't necessarily eat.
There's a verse that says, behold, I stand at the door and knock. If you let him enter, he will come in and sup with you, right? Yeah. So we see the carnal version of that now, right? So the way you break it down in verse 1 and verse 2, as far as the sacrifice and then oblation, right? So you clean your inward parts first, right? And then you're cleaning your house, right? And then you prepare your meal, your prayer. It's talking about incense, right? And our prayers go up as incense, right? And then you're essentially dining with the Most High, right? So this is the physical. She has telling us to get into is to understand the spiritual connotation behind that. So that's why you can't get rid of Leviticus and Exodus and all these scriptures, because there's a foundation work of what we see in the spirit. So you can say you had a spirit, but how do you have a spirit without the foundation? What's connected to the spirit? You know what I'm saying?
Another great example by Shafir, given what we're reading right now in Leviticus is the physical act of what's supposed to be done in the heart. Because if you have a clean heart, if you have a clean heart, you can sing as much as you want on Shabbat or dance or serve the community. But if there's no true belief, desire to submit to the word that has been written in these scrolls, then it's all for naught. It's just show. So it makes sense. Okay. What Bayith shall be offered with all oblations unto Yahuah? It's interesting. Yahuah loves flavor. What's what spice shall be offered with all oblations unto you? It's easy, it's very easy. We use it every day in our lives. There you go. Who would like to get the last of the lesson? 11 through 16 of chapter 2 of Leviticus. Other than, oh, you get it? I can do it. No. Your hands on that, push it further.
Leviticus chapter 2, starting at verse 11. No meat offering which ye shall bring unto Yahuah shall be made with leaven, for ye shall burn no leaven nor any honey in any offering of Yahuah made by fire. As for the oblation of the first fruits, ye shall offer them unto Yahuah, but they shall not be burnt on the altar for a sweet savor. And every oblation of thy meat offering thou shalt season with salt, neither shalt thou suffer the salt of the covenant of thy Elohim to be lacking from thy meat offering. With all thine offerings thou shalt offer salt. And if thou offer a meat offering of thy first fruits unto Yahuah, thou shalt offer for the meat offering of thy first fruits green ears of corn dried by the fire, even corn beaten out of full ears. And thou shalt put oil upon it, and lay frankincense thereon. It is a meat offering. And the priest shall burn the memorial of it, part of the beaten corn thereof, and part of the oil thereof, with all the frankincense thereof. It is an offering made by fire unto you.
There you go. So, one thing we've definitely clarified, Yahuah loves tacos. He loves tacos. He loves tacos with a little pinch of salt. So Tacos Tuesdays, he knew what he was doing from the start. He knew what he was doing from the start. It's like, I'm allowed them to name the second or the third day of the week. This Roman name is for tacos. Tacos Tuesday. So there we go. Now, again, this lesson is pretty much complete. We've now gotten clarification on what a physical, at the time in that dispensation, the physical act of cleaning off your heart was. And now, thanks to Mashiach, fortunately we ain't got to do all that, because that's exhausting. I'm just reading this, I'm like, okay, I gotta do it. Better not forget the salt, and it's not no bleached white salt. I'm pretty sure it's probably like, whatever natural color salt is, like pink, something like that, right? So, they got gray salt? Okay, I ain't never seen gray salt, but yeah, I got that in my head. So it wasn't that iodized salt. It was straight from the earth or the ocean. So, it is interesting. So, as we read, Yahuah has very fine taste. But it's simple though. It's fine, but it's simple. It's just how you prepare it. You gotta prepare it with a willing heart. Right? That's what it is. It's not junk food. What the Most High demanded at the time was it to be fresh, prepared with like a willing heart. It's not. It wasn't. Well, obviously, it was all clean foods, but it wasn't anything that most Israelites at the time couldn't get. It wasn't anything that most Yahshua at the time couldn't get. It was all fairly common. You just had to prepare it, just like you would make a favorite meal for a cousin, relative, friend. Like you like my chicken. Here's how I prepare my chicken. I put a little, I do this how I really prepare my chicken. I like roll it in egg, then I season that egg. Then I season the batter with a little bit of wheat, with, either some chicken, pre-made chicken batter you can get from somewhere.
All right.
Yeah, and then you let it dip, and it keeps it crisp. See, that's the thing why I do it. It keeps it moist on the inside and crispy on the outside. And that's how we should be preparing our heart. With
What's up, man?
there you go. All right, now, it's been a while since we've been, all together. Let's see if the youngins know. The youngins should know. We say this all the time. All right, who's got the first part of Ecclesiastes?
I vaguely remember it, but let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Elohim and guard his commandments, for this is the whole duty of men.
It's 2 words. It's 2 words right there before shall.
Huh?
It's 2 words right here. It's 2 words right here.
For Yahuah shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil.
There you go. Ta-da! Ta-da! All right. Now, who wants to get the second part? I know. Go ahead, Matt wants to flush it. That's why.
Here's the patience of the Kodashim. Here are they that guard the commandments of Yahuah and the beliefs of Yeshua.
Oh, man. There you go.
Honestly, truth, if anybody ever asks you what do y'all believe, you can always tell them the report. Right? Both of them, but you know that last. What do you mean? Oh, this
The Revelation 14:12. Let's read it together.
Take your time, read it. That's what it is. You know what
Give our day that God are watching it, right? Watching it, not to read.
Alright, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Oh, yeah. Try to keep it simple.
Well, we're going to have to break your